Hello everyone, this is Gim live from Studio Ruse and welcome to this rules video for Ruse, the Fox game.
During a game of Ruse, you'll need to explore and mark vital territories. Explore and build paths in your den. Manage resources. Hunt. Complete objectives. Help your fox kids to grow. And finally, develop their instincts. A game of Ruse is played over 4 rounds, each divided into several phases. Players take turns using one available action die each turn. Players will have between 2 and 4 action dice available, depending on their progress during the game. When no player has any action dice left, the end of the round scoring is triggered. And if it's the 4th round, the end of the game scoring is triggered as well. The player with the most victory points wins the game.
Now, let's take a look at all the phases that makes up a round.
Each round is divided into several phases. The turn order and destiny phase, carried out at the start of each round. The action phase, where all players take turns playing their dice. The end of round scoring phase, during which certain elements are counted. The growth phase, allowing players to grow their fox kits. And the reset phase, to prepare for the next round. At the beginning of a round, bonuses and turn order actions are activated. The first player draws the new destiny tile and places it on the designated space, face up. Then places the hunter or photographer on the designated space in the vital territories, according to what is shown on the destiny tile. The second player rolls the destiny die. The destiny die reveals whether the round will take place during the day or the night. A die showing a 1, 2, or 3 with sun symbols means the round will take place during the day. A die showing a 4, a 5, or a 6 with moon's growth symbol means the round will take place at night. The third, fourth, or fifth player, if present, gain the bonuses from the turn order tiles drawn during the setup. Depending on the round, certain effects must be applied before the first player turns begins. Everything is shown on the destiny board. In round 1, each player draws a Ruse tiles at random and place it on their board in the designated space. Then, they gain 2 growth points or 1 resource of their choice. In round 2, all players unlock 1 die from the extra dice area, bringing their total to 3 available action dice for the round. In round 3, and starting from that round, all players who have managed to bring 2 kit dice out of their den may unlock a 4th bonus die, giving them 4 dice to play as soon as they retrieve it. And in round 4, action die spaces in the vital territories are restricted using action die placement tiles.
Alright, the round can now begin. Let's discover the structure of a turn.
At the beginning of their turn, player rolls 1 available action dice. They gain growth points based on the results. You'll find the growth point chart at the top right of the player board. Add the points to your growth track. The values are as follows. A die showing a 1 or a 2 gives 4 growth points. A die showing a 3 or a 4 gives 3 growth points. And a die showing a 5 or a 6 gives 2 growth points. Additionally, if the roll value matches the destiny tile value, the player immediately gains the bonus from the destiny tile. Then, the player chooses where to place their action die, on an available space in the vital territories or on an available space in their den.
Now, let's move into the territories.
In the vital territories, depending on the dice initial value when placed, different benefits may apply. Drawing territory tiles, gaining resources, or increasing a kit's dice value. A die is always placed on the leftmost available space. If a space shows a penalty, The penalty value must be subtracted from the die before continuing the action, but after receiving the placement bonuses. If the die becomes depleted, reaches 0, place an empty die token on it and gain 2 growth points as a compensation.
Next, the player can start exploring the territories.
The player places their fox at the base of the territory where they place their die. Then, depending on whether it's the day or the night, they may move 1 to 3 spaces. If it's the day, they move up to 2 spaces. And if it's the night, up to 3. If the player passes through a space marked by another player, they lose 1 growth point, and the owner gains 1. If they stop on that space, they lose 2 growth points, and the owner gains 2. If they passes through a beaver dam tile and the beaver token is present, they must give 2 growth points to the beaver tile's owner. Then the player may perform each action on the tile they landed on, subtracting the cost from their die. If the die is or become depleted, the player may use growth points from their reserve to pay the difference, up to the cost of available actions. If the hunter or the photographer is present in the territory, it's impossible to mark the territory or perform a hunting. If the wolf obstacle is present, the player cannot perform hunting or advance on the territory tracks. If the storm obstacle is present in the territory, the player's daytime movement is reduced by 1. Quick note on the movement. Movement is always from bottom to top. You cannot move backward. On a future turn, you may continue your movement in that same territory by playing another die there. Otherwise, you can place a new die in a different territory and restart your exploration from the base.
Let's see what actions are available in the territories.
Here are the available actions in the field, the river, the forest, the farm, and the mountain territories. Hunting. You may always perform hunt with a cost of 2 in the die value. Draw a tile, reveal it, apply the bonus to your growth track, and add the tile to your cache. If your cache is full, discard the tile after applying the bonus. Failed hunt tiles are still placed, but have no effects. Hunt tiles are worth victory points at the end of the game based on the quantity. See the chart on the main board. Marking a territory. Take the leftmost territory marker from your player board and place it on the tile where your fox is. If it's your third or final marker, you gain 1 victory point. You may reclaim a territory already marked by another player. Return their marker to their board, rightmost empty space, pay the penalty to the former owner, and the cost to place your marker. Advancing on the territory track. Move your fox paw 1 space forward on the matching territory track. A bonus or effect may be triggered. If the space shows a white scope icon, move the hunter or photographer 1 territory forward clockwise. Always apply the effects of any obstacles in the territory. There may be multiple obstacles in one area. Obstacles may move between territories during the round, but are removed at the end of the round. Increase a kit die. Increase the value of one of your kit die currently on the growth tracks. A die can no longer be increased once it has left the den. So, the available actions in the mountain territory. There are 3 zones available in the mountains right here. There is a more standard zone, but with a higher cost. In this zone, it's not possible to mark. No marking happens here. You can spend the value of your die and then compensate with growth points to perform action, just like in the other vital territories. You can spend to gain a resource of your choice. You can also spend to move 1 space on any territory track, and you can increase the value of a kit die. Then, the other zone is the private objective card zone. This zone has no limit. Multiple players can play in this zone during a round. To activate it, however, you must completely deplete an action dice. Then, you have a few options. Draw a new private objective card from your personal deck at random. Discard a card to avoid endgame penalties. Reclaim the trade-in bonus of a card you completed during the game. The card is still kept near your player board. There is also a zone to activate green flag territory tiles, if available. You may only activate one tile at a time. Obstacle tiles shown in this zone serve as reference only.
Now, let's check out the actions available in our den.
The player rolls their die and choose to play in the den. Performing action in the den works the same. You must spend the value on your die to pay for actions. Player will reduce their die's value by the amount matching the desired action. We can see on the small board here. If the die is depleted, a tile will be placed on it and you'll be able to spend growth points to perform additional actions. Let's review the spending values. Spend one die value and draw a tile from your bag and place it to form your path. Spend 3 value and draw 2 tiles and place one. Spend 5 and draw 2 tiles and place both. Spend 6 and don't draw from the bag. Instead, place a special tile with bonuses. You may place it or replace an unwanted tile and return that one to the bag. Important, only one action can be performed in the den per die place. Drawn tile must be placed at the beginning of your path or adjacent to a tile already in place. You may return a tile to the bag if it doesn't suit you. No problem, but that ends your turn. You gain any printed bonuses on the placed tile or the spot it covers on the board. If a path is completed from the start to one of the 5 exits at the top, and the player has the required number of validated private objectives, and a kit die is present at that exit, they may develop an instinct by moving a cube to the chosen instinct space.
We'll come back to the instinct development right after the explanation of the end of the round scoring phase.
Each step is carried out in turn order. When all action dice have been used, apply the end of the round effects. Player in the same territory as the camp gain 2 growth points. Player in the same territory as the bear gain 1 resource of their choices. Score completed private objectives. The player holding the cheese without having traded it for growth points during their turn gain 4 victory points. Each player scores victory points equal to the remaining values of their action dice. Then, dice are returned to the player boards. Next is the kit growth phase. Each player may spend 1, 3, or 4 growth points to advance their kits. They earn the bonuses printed on the reaches space. Kits increase. Victory points. They spend 1 resource or 1 hunting tile to cross the final space. The first kit on the top row to reach the end of the track unlocks an extra die. If a private objective is completed, that kit die may then exit the den. See the required objective die chart on the den board. The second extra kit die can be obtained the same way. When the second kit reaches the end of the track, the die can be placed on the first space of the third growth track.
Note that during this phase, an increased bonus only applies to the fox kits that triggers these effects. An increased bonus gained outside of the den can only be applied to a fox kit that is currently on the growth track.
Then comes the reset phase. Standing foxes are returned to the board center. Obstacles and their associated tiles are removed. Hunting spots are refilled. Players with the fewest victory points gain 2 growth points for each orange space, separating them from the leading player. Next turn's order is based on the victory points track.
Let's now see how to develop the instincts of your fox kits.
If you have kits on your den boards and paths connecting to them at the top, you can develop their instincts. Instincts are powers that helps you accelerate your game. You place cube corresponding to your connected kit on one of the instinct spot. The effect activates immediately. Players who manage to develop 5 instincts automatically earns 15 victory points.
Finally, let's move on to the end of the game scoring.
You've played 4 rounds, end of the round scoring phase is complete. Now it's time for the end of the game scoring. The player still holding the star gains 4 victory points. Each player earns points for the number of hunting tiles in their cache. See the small chart on the board. Each player earns points equal to the total value of their kit's dice outside of the den. Each player earns points for completed common objectives. Each player loses points for uncompleted private objective. The player with the most total victory points wins the game.
Great. Now, here's a quick overview of some components.
Here are the different actions on a territory tile. Mark a territory for a value of 1. Hunt for a value of 2. Advance on a territory track for the value of 2. Increase a kit die for a value of 2. Private objective cards elements. Requirements to complete the card. Instant bonus. Instant victory points. End of game penalty. Trade-in value. Starting icon at the bottom of the card. There are 3 types of hunting tiles. Tiles with growth points. Tile with growth points and 1 resource of your choice. Failed hunting. You will find 2 things on the Destiny tiles. The territory where the hunter or photographer starts at the beginning of the round. The instant bonus if your action dice matches the Destiny die. There are 4 types of territory tiles. Action to keep in hand. Obstacles. Instant bonus. Bonus available to all. The victory point tile at the corner of the board lets you mark that your score has reaches the hundreds. The Kickstarter version of Ruse includes 5 asymmetrical den tiles to vary your game and add a challenge. They are marked with a fox and a star. The Kickstarter version of Ruse also includes a double-sided main board. The reverse side offers winter territories. Actions cost more there. You can use the reverse side of your territory tiles. On the Ruse Games website, you can download supplement like reference guide or a quick reference tile.
And that wraps up this rules explanation video for Ruse. Make sure to subscribe to this channel for more video on variants, mini expansion, and other projects. Also, on the Ruse.games website, you'll find some extra downloadable content. This is Game for Studio Ruse. Thank you.